22 teams in Ontario and countless others across this country gathered in arenas just like this, with one goal in mind: win the last game of the season and claim the 2002 Founders Cup. Now, there's two teams left, one game. Spartan Warriors, the Green Gaels, 60 minutes for the 2002 National Championship. Good evening. On Cogeco 14 and on the internet, my name's Andrew McKay, working tonight along with Doug Anderson and Joe Fee. A real classic matchup tonight. We're looking at offense versus defense. The Spartan Warriors, led by Andrew Burkholder, looking to continue his offensive pace from the semifinals with 9 goals to single-handedly defeat Edmonton, versus the defense, started out with Rick Passfield in the Green Gaels net, and all the way out, led by Marvin Barr, a veteran of the 2001 Founders Cup champion, Wallaceburg Red Devils. It'll be an interesting matchup to see how this goes, and with more thoughts in the game, we're going to go upstairs for Doug Anderson and Joe Fee, your commentators for this evening.
Thanks, Andrew. Doug Anderson along with Joe Fee. And Joe, this is going to be a great matchup, isn't it?
It's going to be an outstanding matchup, a rematch of the Ontario Finals. A lot of people said there wasn't much spirit in that series because everybody was looking forward to the Founders Cup. And I think tonight's going to be where they really come to play.
For the Green Gaels to be successful, what have they got to do tonight?
They've really got to contain the Spartan offense. Andrew was just referencing a minute ago that it's going to be an offense versus a defense. That's definitely the way it shapes up. Burkholder and Barr is going to be a great matchup.
What about Spartan Warriors? We know they've got to be able to put the ball in the net with some regularity. But can they do that against this Gaels defense?
And that's going to be the big question. Everybody knows Burkholder. He scored 9 goals and had 3 assists in the game yesterday afternoon. The question is, can they get more production out of more than just one guy? He was the bulk of their offense, 12 points on 15 goals.
Special teams is always the big thing in this kind of a game. Does any team have an advantage when you're talking either when you're playing a man up or playing a man down?
I would think the advantage might come from Passfield in the nets. He might be the key on the special teams.
Well, when we talk about goaltending, you talk about Passfield. He's the guy that's really brought them this far. What is it like on the other side of the coin?
Well, we have an outstanding goaltender on the other side as well, but Passfield's the guy who got the recognition as the all-star goalie in the tournament, so we're going to be looking at him first.
We saw Ryan Monahan going up against yesterday against Halton Hills, and he really put on a show in that game.
He did, and when a goaltender catches fire, it can really carry a team. So if either goaltender does get hot, that could really be the difference in the game.
When you talk about these two clubs, and you talk about what it took to get here, and you talk about the level of competition these two teams have played against each other, is there a psychological part of this game that will favor either club?
I don't think so. I think that everybody knows that series for the Ontario Cup was one that wasn't contested the way tonight's game is going to be contested, and that was kind of out the door. We're going to see one game for all the marbles, and I think that's going to bring intensity.
Is everything really gone by the wayside, and this is one game for the whole shebang?
I really do think so. The Green Gaels have put it behind them. They're not really thinking about those 3 games. They're thinking about one tonight, and that's it. And Spartan knows they got a tough opponent. They're not going to be able to draw any kind of extra confidence out of that because they know the series was being looked past.
Spartan has been very successful. As a matter of fact, Lacrosse the Road St. Catharines has been extremely successful in this season, with, of course, the Junior A Athletics losing their first game of the year, and that was in the second game of the Minnow Cup. But you know what? Spartan Lacrosse has been very positive this year.
Absolutely. We've had 2 Ontario champions out of St. Catharines, one at the Junior A, one at the Junior B level, and we've possibly got a Founders Cup and a Minto Cup champion, but that remains to be seen for tonight.
And, you know, I'll tell you something. When you talk about lacrosse in Ontario, these two clubs are the epitome of sportsmanship, the epitome of high-level lacrosse, and these two clubs are very proud to be here and represent Ontario well.
There's a lot of tradition from both of these areas coming into tonight's game.
You know, we saw in the bronze medal match of Halton Hills Bulldogs, the 3rd Ontario team losing in overtime. That's got to be tough at home.
Especially at home. I mean, they were looking forward to sweeping with Ontario, but Edmonton proving their win a couple of years ago, and the Founders was no fluke by taking home a medal today.
Some of the guys just making their way to the floor now as we're getting set for the national anthem. But, you know, we got to talk, Joe, very quickly about the whole Founders Cup and how this has gone, how it's been received in the community of Georgetown. And not only that, all the volunteers, all the people that put the time and effort forward, all the corporate sponsorship that went into putting this together, and how successful. I'm told this is one of the best Founders Cups ever.
And I think that was the goal coming in. Mike Hancock, the GM of the Bulldogs, really put together a great tournament. He came in with the goal of wanting to make the best Founders Cup ever. And from some perspectives, that's happened.
There's the naming of the All-Star team right now. And every one of the players that walks out there is really more representative of his club rather than representing some of the best in Ontario and Canadian lacrosse.
And you can see that there's one player from each of the semifinalists and also one player from the winner of the Tier 2 championship. So there's definitely a spread there representing the best part of their individual teams.
The hometown boy wearing his number 6 jersey is, of course, Darryl Veltman, representing the Halton Hills Bulldogs. And the Gaels had a couple of players out there as well, and a guy you talked about, Rick Pasfield. And boy, lots of pressure on Rick's shoulders right now.
He's definitely ready for it, though. I saw him out there warming up before the game, and he...
So we get set for the national anthem. Set for the opening draw of the championship game of Founders Cup 2002. Hi again, everybody. I'm Doug Anderson, along with Joe Fee, my partner, and Andrew McKay, your host for tonight's affair here on Cogeco Sports. And these two clubs, as we've talked about, have been the best in Ontario this year. These two clubs will put on a clinic for you in tonight's matchup. This is what junior lacrosse is across Canada.
Referencing a moment ago there, Doug, you think there's going to be pressure on Pasfield, and there may be, but I think he's ready for it. He's got a coaching staff that really prepares him well for the games. I saw him before the game. Jonas Sturz taking shot after shot after shot on Pasfield. Yeah. He was really locked in. He would let one go in a long blue moon and be really upset about it.
A little bit of extracurricular activity before the game starts involving Mike Carroll and Andrew Burkholder, but nothing really comes of that. The team's just showing some high intensity to kick things off. Off the opening draw, Gaels control, scooped up by Colin Baker. Baker at mid-floor. Now with all these emotions running through the players early in the game, very important that they're very precise in what they do because mistakes will happen early on.
And especially from the penalty standpoint, they don't want to be undisciplined.
First shot, they score! Zach Greer makes it 1-0 just 20 seconds into this game.
And just moments ago, he's lining up on the red line as part of the All-Star team, and he proves that was not an unfounded choice. Comes right across the crease, fearless going across the middle, reaches alongside and stuffs home the first goal of the game.
One of the keys to this matchup into any championship game, make sure the emotions don't get too high, make sure the emotions don't get too low, but play with some intensity.
If you swing the pendulum too far one way, it can really hurt you, and that's something that the teams are going to be told by their coaching staff.
Gaels come out, control off the draw one more time. This is Josh Colley. Colley turns in the circle. Watch closely by Burkholder. Colley fades a pass through the middle, couple of fakes, and a big save.
One of the keys coming in for the offense for the Gaels was how Colley was going to gel as part of a unit. We saw him taking a lot of individual shots earlier in the tournament, and if he's able to do things like that where he's going to create for his teammates, he's going to be a much more effective tool.
Good battle in front with Scott Thieves on Matt Atwood. Ball bounces away. It's scooped up by Printup. Printup will lose it. Bounces along the board. And the stick goes flying from Atwood. Gaels control one more time. These two teams are very familiar with each other's style of play. Greer moves it up the floor. Throws it down low to Anders. Andres pass out in the middle. Bounces away. Gaels control it again. That's 23, Doug Trudeau. Trudeau gets the pass back. Shot bounces just wide. Greer after it in the corner. Shot clock goes, and it's going to be Spartan ball.
One other thing that might come out for the Gaels in the offense is the experience of Nick Trudeau, who's in the Founders Cup championship team last year.
Ian Lord dishes back. Looking through the middle, Greenhall has it jump out of his stick. We'll gather it up again in the corner. Greenhall twisting and turning, trying to get away from Preston. Plays it back. There's the shot. Low. Heart of that is Passfield. That'll bounce into the Spartan bench.
Passfield yet to be tested early. Shots coming wide and one right in the middle of his chest. We'll have to wait and see if they can get it on target.
Hinkson moves it up the floor. Has it at the circle. Passes it out in the middle. Spartan dishes off. Here comes the open shot. That's fired long and wide, and we'll go back down the length of the floor. Passfield's going to come out of his net as two Spartan players are right on top of the play. Passfield, long shot all the way down as time expires in the shot clock. 17 minutes, 23 seconds to go here in the first period, and the Gaels lead 1-0. Ball bounces away. Printup's after it behind the net. Tied up along the board. Rolls away again. That one's picked up in the crease.
Good spot by the official there. Real subtle ball coming across the back line of the crease. Good position by the official.
You know, in earlier games throughout this tournament, we joked a little bit about officiating. We joked a little bit about, that they really can't see and all that. But you know what? There's been some outstanding officiating throughout this Founders Cup 2002.
There has been, including when they realized there's been a mistake made correctly. We had that this afternoon.
Dodging into the middle. Zach Greer lets the shot go. Monahan makes the save. Here comes Spartan back the other way, led by John Sullivan. Sullivan's going to wait for some fresh troops to hop on the floor. Dishes off, and Andrew Burkholder moves it inside of Gaels territory.
And here comes that matchup with Barr.
Burkholder gets it back, faking the shot. Van Velzen lets it go just wide. That'll come off the backboards and picked up by Sheriff. Keegan Sheriff in front, he scores! Tying the game at 1.
And Sheriff did a nice job of seeing traffic in front and throwing the ball down for a hard bounce shot. Real tough for the goaltender to pick up. Real smart shot there.
Nice to tuck it under the crossbar and tie the game at 1.
Just the recognition that there was so much traffic and he's looking straight across at his man. The goaltender's not going to be able to look down at the people's feet.
So Murray and Morrison move in to take the draw. Spartan Warriors wearing their home white. Green Gaels wearing their road green. Comes back to Passfield inside his own zone. Passfield will give it up to Colin Baker. A little bit of offense, defense as the Gaels send fresh blood onto the floor. Trudeau goes behind the net. Out in front. There's a shot. Rings it off the post. Back the other way come the Warriors. In front of their own bench and leading the attack. Donovan Rusin will play it off to Andrew Burkholder.
And here comes Mr. Barr right away.
Fighting off the check, goes to the floor, still has it. Steps up, gets the shot away, and a good one. Passfield makes the save.
And Barr giving Burkholder all he could handle, but Burkholder showing some real toughness, being able to fight through that and get a shot.
You know, we talked about how Mike Dubé thought of Marvin Barr and his defensive abilities. There's a shot and they score! Josh Colley makes it 2-1.
And that's that signature outside shot from Colley. A lot of times you see him go sidearm, but when he's out in front, he realized he had a better angle. He comes straight down over the top, and he just hammered it home. Pure power there.
You know, to finish off on Marvin Barr, we talked about Mike Dubé and how he took exception to the way Barr was playing defense, and everybody has taken exception to that, but that's the tenacity that this kid brings to the floor. It's absolute outstanding ability.
And you can hear some respect in the tone of the voice when they wish ill will on the young man.
He is very adept at frustrating the best defensive player from an opposing team.
Colley a moment ago getting that outside shot. If he's able to do both, take his outside shooting as a threat and create for his teammates inside, he can be a real thorn in the side for Spartan.
John Murray loses the ball. It's loose on the floor. Murray goes after it. Ball pops loose. Gales will have a 2-on-1 if they can get first to it. But that's finally back as Sheriff. Sheriff goes to the floor as well. The ball is loose and finally picked up by Colin Baker, and he'll slow things up.
And the little things will make a difference in such a hotly contested game. Sheriff there not giving up on the plays, flat on his face, but reaches out to deny the possession to whoever was trying to pick up that loose ball.
Colley darts down low to the circle. Off the pick, plays it off. Looking to move out in front. There's the low shot. Monahan makes the save. It rolls through the crease, and you heard the oohs and ahs from the crowd. And finally, Spartan's going to move it out of their own zone. And we're going to get a penalty going against Spartan.
There's the experience I talked about, Doug Trudeau, thinking the game all the time, drawing the Spartan player into a penalty.
Ian Hawksby's going off for interference with 14:02 to go here in the first. And important to that is they bring the draw deep inside of Spartan territory.
Spartan wins the draw on a violation, so that's key to get a chance to rag some time off the penalty.
Joel Printup, double team, dishes off, gets it to Van Velzen. Van Velzen will hold on to it. Takes on the double team. They've pinned the ball on the floor. Van Velzen can't go anywhere. Right on top of him is Daryl Jackson. So Van Velzen, as the whistle goes, will control it again. This time bounces off a couple of checks. Still has the ball. Van Velzen. The shot partially blocked. Good job by Chris Stewart defensively in his own zone.
He was beaten by a step, but a good recovery to make the stick check and send the ball out of play.
Colley sets up the attack across mid-floor. Hinkson back for Colley. Back for Colley again. There's the shot. Monahan makes the save. Looking to clear the rebound. Ball still on the floor. Lord loses it. Comes loose again. Unable to get the shot away was Doug Trudeau. Outlet pass. Sullivan will bring it down low inside of Gaels territory. And elects to go behind the net. He's watched by Andres and by Andy Glenn. Sullivan pinned along the boards. Takes the double team to Hart. Down on the floor for the Gaels is number 12, Mike Carroll. He gets his lid back on as Sullivan is doing a great job ragging the ball.
Outstanding job splitting two defenders along the boards to get himself another chance of circling the offensive zone.
Loose ball. Burkholder doesn't see it, and it bounces back to mid-floor. It's going to be Gaels' ball.
Printup ran right by the ball when he had a chance to reach out and scoop it up. I don't think he was aware that it had come loose.
But there's only 10 seconds left in the Spartan penalty. Looking to take advantage of Sargent. He brings it down low, gives it up to Colley. Colley down through the middle. There's the shot. Monahan makes the save off Barton. Lukanchov will dish it off. And this is Ian Lord down low. Hawksby, give and go. Lord loses the ball. And then Atwood runs into his man. Gaels control it. This is number 2, James Barton. Barton has a man through the middle. Doesn't feed him the pass. Then dumps off. Trying to cut through the middle and finally colliding with 2 Spartan defenders. Pass again. Barton gets it back. Harris's shot. Monahan kicks that one aside. Good job by cutting down the angle from Ryan Monahan. Greenhall twisting and turning inside his own zone, brings it across mid-floor. Greenhall going one-on-one now with Dustin Morrison. Plays it back. Joe Murray will dish off. Burkholder, long shot. That hits a maze of bodies in front of Passfield. Here come the Gaels back the other way. Mike Carroll turns on the jet. Got a man with him. Gives it off. Great passing play and a huge save from Ryan Monahan.
Outstanding play by Hinkson to reach back and get that pass that was behind him, and an even better save for Monahan.
Greg Hunter will dish off. That ball jumps out of the stick of the Spartan player at mid-floor. Gaels will control now. Moving it back the other way is Marvin Barr. Barr will dish off. This is Jimmy Mumford picking it up. Mumford will lug it down low before trying to set somebody up in front. Mumford around a defender. Rolls off a pick. Gets it back. Cauley shot. There it is. Monahan. Rebound. The net pops off the goal line, and we're going to blow this one down. But Monahan, what a job sliding across.
He was quick to the mark. That ball was not even taken into the stick. Just flicked off the floor on the rebound, and he was still able to get over in time.
So the Green Gaels lead 2-1 with 9 minutes, 57 seconds to go here in the first period of play. You're watching the championship game of Founders Cup 2002. I'm Doug Anderson along with Joe Fee, bringing you all the action. Andrew McKay is at floor side.
Good job there by the Gaels defense, forcing the player into the crease, getting the call.
Colin Baker heads off to the bench and gives the ball to Tyler Harris. Harris will take it down low to the circle. Nobody watching Harris. He'll play it off into the corner. Moving behind the net is Barton, looking for someone in front. That pass goes awry and down the floor as Passfield will scoop it up. Harris will try it again. Good battle going on in front of the net. Farrar watching Harris. He fires one and just missed stick side.
I think it was a little bit of desperation there. He saw the shot clock winding down below 4 and figured he had to get one off. Not a real quality shot, but necessity breeds it.
Here come the Spartan Warriors again. Down by a goal, 20 seconds left on the shot clock. There it is, right on net. Printup with the low shot and a bit of pushing and shoving afterwards. Where the referees are going to let a little bit go, give the guys a chance to move into a flow of the game. Nice pass up front. Joe Murray lets it go. Hits the post. Murray had that corner picked clean.
Moments ago, you referenced the referees let him play. Both Glenn and Printoff got up a pretty good punch to the head. And I guess since it was both of them and not one of them, they're not going to send anybody.
Burkholder leaves it aside for Printup. Printup back to Burkholder. Low shot, and that one got caught in the webbing of the stick and flies up into the crowd.
And now Burkholder and Barr tied up again. Barr doesn't seem to want to let go.
Down low, Gaels out in front. The pass intended for Mumford. He couldn't control it. The ball bounces in the corner. Tip back. Burkholder will scoop it up at mid-floor. Fires one right on. Passfield stands up to that bullet.
Nice job by Shane Sargent to get a stick on the shot of Burkholder. Not the accuracy wanted after that situation. Hit Passfield in the chest.
So it's going to be Spartan ball at mid-floor. A little over 12 minutes gone here in the first. Gaels lead by 1. Back to the point. Staying to the outside is Keegan Sheriff. Sheriff steps around the circle. Sheriff gets a corner, goes for the shot, and comes up just shy on the side. It bounces in the corner. Cody Printup tries to feed it out in front. Looking for an opening again. It's played back now to John Burkholder. Off the pick, Burkholder looking for the shot. He gets knocked off stride. Penalty going against the Gaels, and it looks like it could be Andy Glenn going off. We'll have to wait and see. Comes back to the point again. The shot whistles just wide. We're going to blow it down, and we're going to get a slashing call going against the Gaels, so we'll see the Spartan power play.
Looks like Dustin Morrison's going off for the slash. And Sheriff moments ago was trying to, the goal scorer for Spartan was trying to get inside, and he figures he's going to go with what worked. He scored the same way earlier. He's going to make a bid for a repeat goal. Be interesting to see now when the players from the Gaels can't get out and get in the players on the power play face as much. Can they still contain them?
In front of Spartan bench. It's going to be Gaels' ball.
And Barr draws a call there, fighting hard for the loose ball, forcing the technical violation against Spartan.
Gaels control again. This is Tyler Harris. Harris watched closely by Ian Lord. Harris pinned in the corner by Lord and Rusin. Harris holding the ball against the boards. Lord and Rusin, finally we're going to get a draw ball.
Looked like there was no action coming there. The player was not withholding the ball, but he had himself pinned against the boards between two, so they'll just draw it off.
And he'll head off to the bench, as that takes a lot of energy when you're playing in a double team situation.
Anybody who's ever been involved in the sport of wrestling would understand what it means when you're in the corners like that. It can often be more tiring than running the floor.
I think one of the keys that we're going to find out in this game, too, is short shifts and the fact that guys aren't going to spend an inordinate amount of time on the floor.
Because they're definitely not want to get caught tired in bad situations and cost their team in such a game where every moment's important.
Spartan controls the ball. Keegan Sheriff plays it to the outside. Floating pass through the middle. That one's tipped. Comes loose. Gaels almost control it and can't, as Justin Hawksby has it. Gets it back. Open shot. They take it and score!
Prince have come in with that powerful underhand. Really didn't come up with the shot at all. Kept it low to low. That's a real difficult thing for the goaltender to see. A lot of times you think the shot's going to change levels or change directions. That one didn't. Almost just skimmed along the ground, overpowering Passfield low. Both goals on Passfield down at his feet, so we'll have to see if that's a trend that continues.
Brintup did a great job getting away from the check, keeping the ball low, and putting it past Passfield.
Nice job by the Spartan Unit 2 playmaking, getting rotation going to the open spot.
Spartan controls the ball off the draw. John Sullivan tips it ahead. Burkholder does a nice job to corral it. Plays it back for Sullivan, and he'll bring it up the floor. Passes off for Murray. Murray looking to go one-on-one. Feeds it in front. Atwood shot right on. Passfield makes the save. Atwood does a good job to tip it in the corner. Going after it, Matt Atwood. Bounces away again. Gaels can't control it. Look at Atwood creating his own traffic in front. And finally the Gaels wheel back behind their own net. This is Chris Stewart bringing it up the floor.
Atwood a bit of a battering ram on the Roos ball, just heading forward. No one could stop him from getting to the spot he wanted.
Colley has it. Plays it off. Greer gets the shot away. Rebound, pounces out in front of the crease, and it's going to be Spartan bringing it up the floor. This is Burkholder. Lets it fly. Passfield saw that one all the way.
Andy Glenn knocking Burkholder over and dislodging his helmet on that.
Burkholder, what a job to knock that one down. Andy Glenn loses it in the corner. Ball bounces loose. Passfield comes out of his net.
I think they're going to give possession back to Burkholder, but nothing else. He's really getting frustrated because the referees are letting the boys play, and Burkholder's the recipient of most of the stuff that's up against the line. Made a great play to tip that outlet pass and regain possession for his team here.
Looking through the middle. Spartan. Nobody drawing traffic in front. Finally, Burkholder goes through the middle. Stepping now to the middle is number 18, Hawksby, letting it go, and it's just wide. Darrell Jackson trying to gather up the loose ball. Burkholder's in there. Hawksby is in there. Ball pops loose. Barr is right on top of his man, taking a couple of shots.
One other thing that's frustrating Burkholder, besides the rough play, is the fact that the Gaels are running people out the back door. It's frustrated a couple of his breakaway attempts because they were able to gain the extra 10 feet.
We got a penalty going against the Spartan Warriors in front of their own bench. Colley shot right on. No problem for Monahan, but we'll see a tripping call going against number 26, Joe Murray.
He took down one of the Gaels as he was trying to go off for a change. So that's the type of thing the referee is going to be looking for. That's really not at all part of the game.
4 minutes and 10 seconds to go here in the first period. We're all tied at 2, and you know what? Thus far, it's been the kind of game we expected.
It has been kind of a war between the two wills of these two teams, and so far, I think in the offensive zone of Spartan, the Gaels have really asserted themselves, and they've really prevented them from getting their game going.
Only one special teams goal so far. Everything else has come at even strength. Rusin down low. Still has the ball. Bounced into the corner now. Dustin Morrison all over him. Rusin on the floor. Has the ball in his stick. They're trying to pop it loose. Colin Baker in there as well, taking a couple of cracks at it. The ball is loose on the floor. That's why referee Hill has not blowed it down, and he finally does. And we're going to get a penalty going against Dustin Morrison.
And Pete let it go as long as he could. He was allowing the kid to come over the top and try to play the ball, but then there was a moment where it seemed like he just landed on the man who was on the floor's head, and he's going to get a roughing call.
And that's what I mean. It was just a matter as when Rusin lost his helmet at the same time as when he landed on his head, so blow it down, give the penalty, and walk away.
Get a chance to see some 4-on-4 lacrosse.
Here's a foot race. Burkholder and Baker. Baker comes up with the ball. Four-on-four lacrosse. There's a shot from Colley right over the shoulder of the defender, and I don't think Monahan saw that coming.
I'll tell you one thing, I saw some space where he was shooting to, and Monahan may have not gotten all the way out, so if Colley was a little further to the right with that shot, he probably would have canned it.
Long pass picked up by Printup. Printup. Looking low, Printup steps to the middle, tries to get in. Goals waved off as Printup was in the crease.
He had left his feet, and I think that was the key. If he had kept his feet anchored, they would have allowed the goal.
Still a good second effort to come that close. Barr heads off to the bench and leaves the ball for number 19, Tyler Harris. Andre's out there as well. Harris pushes off. Looking through the middle. Andres can't control it. And here comes Spartan. 93 is Greenhall. Greenhall twisting and turning inside the offensive zone. Greenhall takes his time through the middle. Lord. Lord's shot right on. Passfield stands up to that one nicely. Greenhall tackled at the boards and goes down, but it's going to be Spartan ball.
Fortunate for him, that was a loose ball.
In front, Lord hits the post. Ball bounces back to the top of the slot. Greenhall with loads of time. Dishes off. Lord takes the shoulder. Now we're on a power play for 25 seconds. Printup to Atwood. Hits him right in the cage. Again, to the point. Long shot. Fakes it to the side. Lord couldn't gather up the pass from Hawksby. Passfield again makes a big save. Rebound again. Passfield comes up off Cody Printup.
Couple of big saves there by Passfield. The one he took off the noggin shook him up a bit, but he was able to maintain his poise.
So we're playing at even strength with 1:34 left here in the first period and tied at 2.
Lord just heading off the floor now. Moments ago, he really used his side well to bull inside.
Burkholder to Van Velzen. John Burkholder, low shot and whipped it over top of the net. 6 seconds left on the shot clock. And it's going to be Gaels' ball as the shot clock expires.
And I think Mr. Burkholder has a shadow named Marvin Barr.
Everywhere, number 37 in white, Andrew Burkholder is, you will see 24 in green, Marvin Barr.
And he keeps running out the back door.
Moving the ball up the floor. Martin creating traffic in front. Colley lets it fly right on. Ball pops loose, picked up by Sargent in the corner. Knocked off the ball by Lukanchov, and it's brought up the floor by the Spartan Warriors. Burkholder will leave it for Van Velzen. Van Velzen dumps it back for Hawksby. 16 left on the shot clock, 33 on the game clock. Hawksby for Burkholder, out in front. Getting away from the check and getting the shot away is Van Velzen. But kudos have to go to Daryl Jackson for tying him up. Ian Lord ties up his man. Monahan, a couple of cracks at it. Just 14 left on the game clock, and Spartan's going to slow it down and go for last shot. Burkholder Watched by Barr. Tries to dish it off. Gets it back. Fires it into the corner. So the first period comes to a close. Joe Fee, your thoughts on the first period? What a wild affair so far.
And very rough and tumble. The referee's definitely letting the boys play, so it's going to be that type of game. I have to say, I think that's going to benefit the Green Gaels.
2-2 after one period of play. Shots on goal, 17-14 favoring Spartan. We're going to come back with our second period and our first intermission with Andrew McKay. Stay with us for more of the 2002 championship game of the Founders Cup.
Hey man, how you been? Ah, DVD.
Nope, it's digital.
Unbelievable sound. And I finally got to choose what channels I wanted from a whole whack of them. Of course, you took them all. Oh yeah. Storm, no interference, pretty sweet. Where'd you stick the satellite dish? It's right over there.
Cogeco Digital Cable TV. Everything you need for the ultimate television experience without the dish.
Game? Yeah.
Here between Spartan and the Green Gaels, joined now by Brad MacArthur, head coach for the Green Gaels. Brad, general impressions of that first period of play?
Well, I think it was a good period. It was a good test for us. Spartan took us in 3 games in the Ontario finals, and I don't think they know really what to expect from us. We're fielding a little bit of a different team, and the speed was there, our defensive tenacity was there, and we had 2, what I consider breakdowns on defense, but they were goals that normally our goalie would have had, so I'm not too worried about things right now. I think things are going well for us, considering.
Are you happy with how your offense is playing so far in this game?
They're getting some quality chances. We need to start burying some more. We know the goalie's swings his hips a little bit, so it's easier to get by him and throw it by him that way instead of trying to go short side all the time. But our offense is doing all right. They'll pick it up. We're all right.
And last question, the ever-present, of course, Marvin Barr all over Andrew Burkholder today, like he has been against every superstar in this tournament so far, so to speak. How do you think he's doing against Andrew so far?
I think he's doing a phenomenal job. If we can keep Burkholder off the goal column and the game sheet, then I think we're doing our job. He's very tenacious. He's an aggressive player, and he did good. He took Brelt Peltman out of the game last night, and hopefully he'll take Burkholder right out of the game tonight too.
Great. Well, thanks for joining us. Good luck the rest of the way. Good luck. Now our very special first intermission guest, none other than Dave Vernon, the commissioner of the Junior B League here in Ontario. Dave, you've got 2 of your teams playing for a national championship here. Couldn't ask for much more than that.
No, this is a great day for Ontario Lacrosse.
And what have been your impressions of how the tournament's gone the entire week?
Oh, the tournament's been run super. They've had a ton of volunteers here. They've had great sponsors. Warrior Lacrosse has been a big sponsor for this event. And without all the people, this was all something they just did. They didn't get a lot of advice from anybody, but they got amazing things. We've had nothing but good comments from all of the teams here from other provinces. The way that they've been hosted and looked after, everything has just been superior to any other tournament that we've ever had in any other Founders Cup.
Well, you saw a lot of new provinces this year, a lot of young organizations getting involved that are improving quickly. What is Ontario doing right now in terms of developing, growing the Junior B game here in our home province?
Well, at this point in time, we have 3 applications in for new clubs in Ontario, new franchises. Windsor Lacrosse, London Lacrosse, and Niagara-on-the-Lake are all putting in applications, and they'll be reviewed at our September meeting for possible admission into the league. That would bring our numbers up to 26 teams, so that's a pretty good-sized league.
Well, the biggest lacrosse league in North America, as you like to call it, looks to grow a little bigger next year.
It looks to be that way, yes.
Great. Well, thanks for joining us. Enjoy the rest of the game.
Okay, thank you.
Spartan controls it. That's Greg Hunter. Hunter's going to wait and head off to the box. Before doing so, he dishes the ball off, and picking up the ball is John Burkholder. Burkholder goes behind the net. Plays it out in front. Sprint up, will leave it for Keegan Sheriff. Sheriff has it jump out of his stick. Good job done the check by Mike Carroll. Sprint up, takes the hit along the boards. And it's going to be Gaels' ball.
Slow start in the offensive zone for Spartan. Very deliberate play there.
Mumford floats a pass. Hinkson has it, moves into the circle. Hinkson looking off the check. Doug Trudeau causing a little traffic. Hinkson wheels away, gets the shot away, and of course the save comes from Ryan Monahan.
Another nice spin move from Hinkson. We've seen him do that a number of times in this tournament to gain access to the net.
Cody Printup plays it down low for Greenhall. Todd Greenhall. Twisting, turning, looking for someone out in front. Dishes off to the outside. That's Joe Murray with the low shot. Greenhall's lost sight of the ball. Preston on top of him. Atwood in there as well. Stewart watching Greenhall. Atwood's got the ball from the circle. Atwood backpedaling. Watched closely by Thies. Steps out in front. And Passfield, no problem with that one.
And now Spartan's starting to run some of their players out the back door.
Andres leaves the pass outside for Zach Greer, who put it just by on the glove side. Loose band in front, rings it off the post. Here's a break. Burkholder flying down the floor and coming out of the box is Colin Baker. Burkholder dumped. Good job by Baker to get back in on that play. Rusin knocked down in front of his own bench by Glenn.
Big hit by Glenn there. He really lined up the St. Catharines player. And as we talked about in the first period, Burkholder frustrated as he gets into the offensive flow, into the offensive zone with speed. There was someone running to the bench so he can spring somebody out the back door, and that was also Glenn who stopped that.
We'll see how he can handle that frustration, because if that builds into something where he starts taking time in the box, that is huge for the Gaels. There's the shot from Hawksby. Ball bounces loose. Printup lands on his man and will be going to the box for his effort. Gaels control the ball. Hammered along the boards was Nate Andres, number 18.
And Peter Hill's going to take off Printup for his troubles.
I think it was the fact that not only did Printup take his man to the floor, but he certainly landed on him with a full body slam afterward.
And the helmet did come off, too, so that's always something to draw the attention.
So we'll see a Gaels man advantage with 2 minutes and 54 seconds gone here in the second period in a tie game.
And we talked at length about the offense of St. Catharines versus the defense of the Green Gaels, but the Green Gaels, especially where their power play is concerned, do have some pretty big names to throw out there. Colley and Trudeau and Hinkson, so they're a pretty stacked power play themselves.
So the draw will be down low inside of Gaels territory. Nice job on the draw from Dustin Morrison, winning that one outright, but due to a violation, it's going to be Spartan ball. Faceoffs thus far have been fairly even in the first. Spartan with a 5-4 advantage.
Burkholder pinned by two defenders along the boards. We got a little something going. Looks like number 8 for the Gaels, Dustin Morrison, involved. And it looks like he's going to go off with one of the Spartan players.
It sure does. Morrison's going to the box, as well as Justin Hawksby heading off to the box.
As I was starting to say a moment ago, Burkholder pinned along the board by two of the Gaels players, forcing a draw.
Ball pops loose along the boards, rolls back to mid-floor. After the ball, Gaels number 11, Chris Stewart. Stewart battling in there with Donovan Rusin. Comes loose again and finally scooped up by Colin Baker. That'll give the Gaels a chance to change and throw some fresh blood onto the floor, as Josh Colley will lead the attack. Going to the wide side, James Hinkson. With time, looking for the open shot. Colley lets it go. Monahan saw that one all the way. Comes right back to Colley. Fakes the pass. Gets it back now. This is Trudeau. Down low, out in front. Hinkson all alone. Rings it off the iron.
Excellent passing play there where every player on the floor for the Green Gaels touched the ball.
Long pass. Right on the stick of Burkholder. Huge save from Passfield.
tremendous passing play there, right from the goaltender to Burkholder in full flight toward the goaltender.
Burkholder then got stonewalled by Passfield and took a huge hit on Zach Greer. Plays it off. Cawley shot comes right back to Greer. Greer hangs onto it. Rings it off the crossbar. Oh my, an absolute howitzer from Zach Greer.
Some almost shooting right here. And we saw Spartan adjust to the backdoor play that we were talking about from the Gaels. They ran Burkholder out the front.
In front, Hinkson can't control the pass. Reaching over top is Joe Murray. That'll bounce back to mid-floor. Diving after it, and it goes over, and finally picking it up will be number 10, Josh Cawley. There's the shot. Cawley lets it fly. Hinkson follows up and fires it wide. That goes up into the meshing, so it's going to be Spartan ball.
I'm going to be real interested to see if that chess game continues, where they're trying to gain an advantage for the player coming out the front.
Stepping out in front. Printup can't go to the short side.
One thing that makes an advantage for Spartan in this period is their bench is closer to the Green Gaels zone. In the first period, it was the other way around.
Hawksby tied up with his man at mid-floor. What a huge hit. Hawksby through on Andy Glenn.
Spartan responding to some of the rough stuff that the Gaels have initiated, and they're going to show that they can hang right with them on it.
Ian Lord to the outside. Lord still has it from the top of the attack zone. No one setting up in front. Lord gets the shot away. No problem for Passfield. On the rebound, they score! Number 4, Reg Van Velzen makes it a 3-2 game, just scooping the shot through the crease.
And there was a big pile of bodies right on the crease. Everybody was in there, and he was able to just flick it off the floor, it looked like, right into the net. And Andy Glenn just takes a stupid penalty, takes a big slash on number 13 for St. Catharines, Donovan Rusin. Real dumb penalty there.
It was a dumb penalty. After giving up the go-ahead goal with 14-19 in the second, you turn around and slash guy. You know what? Those are the ones that referees look for after a whistle.
And the referee from Coquitlam explaining to Marvin Barr what was over the line. He seemed to accept it, nod his head. Nice call, ref.
So Spartan trying to spread out the Gaels' defense as the ball goes into the corner. That's scooped up. Murray tied up nicely. Great job from Colin Baker to gather up the loose ball and come away with it. Baker and Murray. Looks like Murray's going to get a penalty as he caught Baker in the helmet. Baker doing a good job along the board. Finally throws it up in the air as it bounces in the corner. Ball is loose, and Josh Cawley picks it up. Cawley then plays it back. What an effort by the Gaels, and Tyler Harris keeps it going. Nate Andre plays it back for Tyler Harris. So a delayed penalty against Spartan. Harris gives it away, and they're going to blow it down as Ian Hawksby touches the ball. But a good job ragging off a lot of precious time.
And I think Colin Baker's got to be given credit for drawing that foul. You don't usually think of a foul being drawn when it's just a cross-check up to the head. But he had just run through the defenders left and right across the front of the crease, got them frustrated. They started feeling over-aggressive, feeling they had to get the ball from him, and that stick just came up high.
Joe Murray, the infraction, was the guy causing the infraction. He's sent off to the box. So with 1:10 still remaining in the penalty to Andy Glenn, we'll see a Gaels power play in just 50 seconds time. Ball rolls loose. Scooped up by Sullivan. Sullivan watched from behind. He better be careful, because right on him is Dustin Morrison. Through mid-floor, here's Sullivan. One-on-one with Mumford. Sullivan puts the shoulder down, gets the shot away, nowhere near the net, but picking it up off the backboard is number 12, Mike Carroll.
Dustin Morrison with good help coming over for the double team while he's trying to get the shot off.
Carroll feeds it to Cawley, stops in the circle. Cawley looking to set things up, will lug it down low. Joining him up front is Shane Sargent. Cawley Plays it back. Hinkson steps away from his man. Hinkson with the low shot. Monahan, nice kick, save.
Monahan active with his feet, saw the shot all the way.
Hinkson, Sakali off the post.
We're going to be ringing chimes tonight if that keeps up.
Josh Colley has 3 posts to his credit in less than half a game. Tries to make the quick back pass. Moving back on the floor is Andy Glenn as his penalty's over, and the Gaels are on the power play for the next 40 seconds. Greer to Colley. Bounces in the corner. That's Sargent after it. Sargent tied up. Good job by Printup battling for the loose ball. Ball's on the floor, but the shot clock goes, and it's going to be Spartan ball.
Heads-up play, too, by Cody Printup, not to make the effort to pick up the ball, realizing the shot clock was winding down, just neutralize the attacking player and gain possession that way.
Printup stepping through traffic. Printup going to the wide side, watched closely by Preston. Printup will backpedal at the mid-floor. 10 left on the penalty. Printup moves right in and elects to kill off the final 10 seconds. Good job from Joel Printup. Bounced along the board. Penalty is now over and done with. Murray is back on the floor, and they'll blow this one down.
Looks like we're going to have a draw ball to Rick Passfield's right. Players piled up, kind of knocking each other down and covering the ball, so we'll get it drawn.
So after a 17-14 advantage in shots on goal in the first period for Spartan, we're all tied at 7 shots apiece here in the second.
And a bit of a chess game there. It looked like the Gaels drew with one less guy than they were allowed to have on the floor to try and spring somebody out the front door. And Burkholder, an offensive player, recognized and started to hustle back and prevent it from happening.
Pass down to the side of the slot. Bounces away from Hawksby and comes the length of the floor. Gaels will bring it up the floor. This is Hinkson with the ball. Hinkson through the top, watched by Jeff Farrar. Farrar moves off the pick. Good play out in front. Farrar ties up his man, Nate Andres, very nicely. And Colley will control it. Setting the pick for Colley is Tyler Harris. There's the shot right on Monahan. No difficulty on that one. And we're almost at the midway point of this game, a 3-2 lead.
Monahan, good positioning there, coming out to challenge the shooters, not afraid to step up in his crease.
Back for Murray. Murray dishes down low. There's the shot from Greenhall. And Passfield got a piece of that one, enough to steer it in the corner. Van Velzen, pass over. Printup picks it up. Printup behind the net, looking for someone in front. Twist, turns, goes back the other way. Look at Printup move, plays it back for Greenhall. Printup, again, cross side now. Murray plays it down low, slipping the check, getting away from a couple of defenders. Looking for an opening is John Burkholder. Burkholder will dump it back. Printup now with time, again plays it to the outside for Joe Murray. Murray fires it with time winding down on the shot clock. A new clock, though, as Spartan controls the ball. This is Todd Greenhall now. Backpedaling to mid-floor. Greenhall gets the ball to Keegan Sheriff, and they'll send fresh troops on the floor. Sheriff plays it for Hawksby. Hawksby, a little two-step, looking for someone in front. There comes the shot from Van Velzen. And Passfield makes the save.
Keegan Sheriff lost his helmet, as did one of the Gaels players.
Carroll allowed to walk right in on Monahan, who stands up to the charge. Cody Printup playing it back for Burkholder. Burkholder rifles a shot. Passfield gets the shoulder out and makes the save.
Good positioning by Passfield. The ball really hit him pretty much toward the center of the body, but he's been in the center of the shots most of the time.
This is Barr, lugging it into the offensive zone, then dishes off and heads to the bench, leaving the ball for Zach Greer. Greer for Colley. Colley backpedaling, watched very closely by Greg Hunter. Colley steps away. Backpedals again, fires a pass through the middle, and that went off the body of Shane Sargent, who was caught and trapped in the crease area.
Game slowed down a bit. Seems to be getting a lot more deliberate.
15 left on the shot clock. Nice bounce pass. Looking to get the shot away. Burkholder will leave it for his man, Sheriff. Steps around the defender and can't get it away. He was tied up nicely by Zach Greer. Burkholder tips it away, and the shot clock comes to a close. It's going to be Gaels' ball.
And it looks like there's going to be a delay of game call here against St. Catharines. Pete Hill whistled it down for the shot clock violation, and number 15 for St. Catharines, John Burkholder, just tossed the ball away.
And you know, when you wear an A on the front of your sweater, that's the kind of play that just should not happen.
And the precedent's been set all tournament long. They've been calling delays when it's warranted all tournament long.
I'll give both these referees a lot of credit. They've been watching the benches for changes very closely, making sure everything is staying onside. In front, no goal. Nate Andre's in the crease.
And I think what you mentioned is going to be especially important as they started to have that chess game. We hadn't seen a lot of front door, back door play until today.
Try to bowl his way in front is Donovan Rusin. Unable to get there as Daryl Jackson picks up the loose ball and comes back the other way. 1:30 left in the penalty. I think the key for Spartan is to limit the number of opportunities to give it up in a power play situation. There's the pass. Huge pass from number 21, James Hinkson, right across the crease to Sargent. Colley plays it off, gets it back, lets it fly. Monahan makes the save and hangs on to the rebound.
And they were calling for a reset. The shot clock had not reset off that pipe that Sargent hit.
Ian Lord twisting and turning, splits the defense, lets the shot go way over top of the net. Lord follows up the rebound behind the net, but we've got a whistle.
And it looks like it's going to be Green Gael ball. A push off the ball. Now Marvin Barr taking exception to Lord's little delay tactics. Lord gets knocked down for his trouble. Pete Hill says, good for you.
Colin Baker moves it up the floor. Zach Greer will lead the attack for the Gaels. Greer still with the ball, leaves it off for Colley. Colley looking for an opening, back for Greer. Good dish off to Hinkson. He tries to go to the outside, and a nice play by John Sullivan to keep him there. In front, Monahan with the save off Shane Sargent. Then the quick outlet pass intended this time for Ian Hawksby, but he couldn't catch up to the ball.
Excellent entry pass to the crease by Colley to his man, and a better save from Josh McNaughton. Pardon, Ryan Monahan.
Colley through traffic, hits Monahan in the cage. It bounces in the corner. They hit the crossbar. Zach Greer got absolutely rocked after hitting the crossbar. Nice pass. Burkholder goes down, slides in the pass field.
And a key part of what forced that play to one side of the floor instead of letting them run the break easily was another player coming running out the back door for the Gaels. Jonas Dirks up on the Green Gaels bench, really upset. There's a Green Gaels player down in the offensive zone. Did not see what happened as the play was going the other way, and Dirks is really letting him have it. The official lets Dirks know he's about done talking.
Now they've got ice packs on the calf area. You got to wonder if that's with the heat and humidity in this building, and it is very humid with the packed building in here. You wonder if that might be a cramp more than anything else.
Definitely a possibility, but we just have to wait and see. Sometimes the stick gets down there, you can see a little slap on the back of the calf too, so just have to wait and see.
That's Zach Greer, number 17 of the Gaels, down on the floor.
Marvin Barr over there talking to him very closely, trying to keep him calm, trying to encourage him.
So we got a bit of a break in the action with 5 minutes and 36 seconds left here in the second period. And it's a 3-2 lead for the Spartan Warriors. And I'll tell you something, Joe, this game has progressed like I thought it would be a chess match more in the middle part of the game and feeling guys out. These two teams know each other very well, so it's just a matter of who's going to play what hand and see where it takes them.
And the adjustments they make. That's one thing that, as you talked about that chess game, the adjustments that were made in the middle of the game. The Green Gaels initiated some strategy, and then the Spartan Warriors responded to it. And I really like to see the third period when they're back in an advantage situation for the Gaels. Can the Warriors still find an answer to try and spring their offensive men?
Shots on goal in the second period favoring the Green Gaels as they are up 14-13, but they are down overall in the game 30-28. And in draw situations, it has been all Spartan here in the second period. They've won 4 of the 5 draws in the second and 9 of 14 overall.
We'll have to watch that battle as it goes on. Draws are always important as the game goes on, especially in the third period and then in crucial situations.
Spartan controls, twisting, turning inside his own zone. John Sullivan plays it up for Joe Murray. Murray down low, will dump it back. Burkholder's got it. Dishes off for Keegan Sheriff. Sheriff will leave it away for Brintup. Back for Sheriff. Looking to get through the middle. Tries to make the dive and the ball bounces wide. Murray then jumps on the loose ball. And it's blown down. We've got an interference call going against Spartan. And it looks to be number 20, Keegan Sheriff, and maybe a holding call instead. It is a holding call.
Actually, I think what happened was there was the original hold on the Green Gaels player, and then after that, Sheriff came back and took an interference call to even it up. I'll tell you one thing, a 3-2 score this late in the second period, in my mind, I would have thought that would benefit the Green Gaels, but with Spartan ahead, that could be a little bit of a confidence builder, making them realize they can win that type of game too.
Yeah, Spartan's certainly not used to being in very low-scoring games like this.
You know they want to play a more open game. You know the Gaels want to play the closed one, and the Gaels have dictated the style, but they're behind on the scoreboard.
Well, the Gaels are also a little bit bigger club in the defensive zone, and they seem to be able to push Spartan forwards around a little bit. There's a pass through the middle. Printup's got it. Backing away, looking to roll off the pick. Printup gets loose, lets the shot go, he scores!
And he has got an absolute bullet. He shortened up on that. His top hand was way up on his stick when he fired that, so he didn't even get the full length of the stick to let it go, and he still fired a laser into the top side left corner.
Joel Printup makes it a 4-2 game with under 5 minutes to go here in the second period.
And he's jacked about it. You can see him pacing around like a caged animal and getting ready for the face-off. He is fired up.
So a huge goal and a 2-goal lead for the first time in this game for Spartan Warriors. What a job by Printup through traffic to free himself and let one fly, beating Rick Passfield. Colley's got it. Feeds it back to the side. Hinkson, nice job corralling that one. Hinkson goes low, hits his own man in front. Ball pops loose, and Rusin will control it and get it back for John Sullivan.
Burkholder wasn't even running full flight, looking to get up floor, realizing there were men coming out the back door on that one.
In front, Hawksby can't get it away, and coming back the other way is Nate Andres. We have a Warrior player on the floor.
Pete Hill blowing the whistle, calling the trainer on the floor. Didn't see what happened. It doesn't look like the hand is up for a penalty. Brad MacArthur asking the other official why play was stopped when it seemed that the Gaels had possession. But there is a discretion that the referee has. Anytime he feels a player is injured, possibly severely, he can stop the play to get him immediate medical attention. And if he's bleeding, as it looks like he might be, holding a towel to his nose, that would certainly give the referee reason to worry.
Justin Hawksby off the floor. Wrapped up, but the Gaels have the ball. 4 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the second. Hinkson with time, watch closely by Hawksby. Hinkspin. Dishes off. Cawley now at the top. Cawley looking for the open shot. Takes the hit from Lord. Cawley backpedaling. Can't get away from Lord. Tenacious checking from Ian Lord. Hawksby plays it down low. There's the low shot. Monahan makes the save, kicking that one aside. Lord, outlet pass just in front of Brandon Fung. Then Fung absolutely clobbered Chris Stewart, and he should be going to the box for his effort.
Another stupid penalty. There was nothing to gain from that. The player was just standing in front of him. He decided to just take his head off. Gaels get away with it. Too many men there. They were in the offensive zone. Somebody else stepped on the floor.
Hinkson lays it backside. Cawley with the quick one-time shot. So 19 seconds remains in the coincidental minors. To Mumford and Joe Murray. And we're going to get a 5-minute penalty, it looks like, going against the Spartan Warriors.
That's going to be a huge turnaround in the game. A 2-goal releasable penalty would even the score up if they're able to capitalize on it. They've got the bulk of it to be served in this period. They could wind up tying the game going into the dressing room, and that could be a huge giveaway by the Spartan player.
3 minutes and 25 seconds remains on the clock here in the second period. Spartan Warriors lead by a pair of the Green Gaels. Hinkson lets it go, hits the post, and it fires up into the stands. Boy, James Hinkson had that corner labeled.
He really unloaded, and the way it came off the bar lets you know how hard it was. Came into the stands, almost injured one of the fans.
Mumford does a good job coming out of the box to corral the loose ball. Dishes off for Cawley. He'll set up the attack. Hinkson goes to the wide side on the right. Tyler's on the left. Tyler gives it back to Cawley. Feeds it out in front. Oh, a nifty play by Daryl Jackson. Sorry, that was Doug Trudeau.
One thing we talked about for Trudeau this whole tournament is he shows very well for the ball. He gets in tight areas, and you can expect to get him the ball and have him do something with it, even though he's under pressure.
Burkholder takes the shot, doing a good job ragging the ball. Burkholder. Watched closely by Chris Stewart. Burkholder cuts through a pair of players, gets back to his feet. Stewart gets another shot on him. Joining in is Nate Andres. Burkholder along the boards. Stewart and Andres double teaming him.
And it looks like the ball had gone down, and therefore that double team was not allowed, and they're going to give possession to the Warriors.
Brentup will have it in the corner. He'll get it back for John Burkholder. Burkholder along the boards, takes the hit, loses the ball. Burkholder doing a good job keeping the ball moving. Scoops it up, goes behind the net. Pass out in front. Van Velzen's shot. And Brentup is there to pick it up.
Van Velzen with a nice little quick stick there in the middle, really showing himself in front, giving an opportunity for a shot.
3:10 left in the penalty, 1:33 left in the second period. Brentup's got the ball. Oh, dives through two players, still has it on the floor. Finally gets it away, and a great job to get it to Van Velzen. Van Velzen off the check. Wheels away from his man. Looks like we're going to get a penalty as Van Velzen goes for the shot again, and the Gaels will get a minor penalty with a $1:15 left on the clock here in the second.
Terrific job by Spartan on the rag, especially by Van Velzen. He got that first shot off the little quick stick. Then he was able to draw the penalty, get in front for another scoring opportunity. So tremendous job by the Spartan Warriors, led by Van Velzen on the penalty kill there.
Chris Stewart, the man doing most of the checking along the boards, and he's the guy going to the box as well.
Now we've got 2 minutes on Spartan and 2:50 on the Gaels, so the Gaels still do have an opportunity if they get two quick ones in that 50 seconds to make those count.
On the move, here's Colin Baker in on goal. Monahan makes the save.
Baker with lightning speed off the draw to race down the floor ahead of everyone else and get that breakaway attempt.
Boy, he was in full flight, just one step away from the defender.
I think that might have been what made it difficult for him to convert.
Colley dumps it back out in front. Huge save from Monahan.
Going hard from his right to his left with his stick and extending out to take away the ball from the shooter.
Hinkson rolls off the check. Rusin doing a good job watching Hinkson. Colley's got it. Colley looking to feed Barton one more time. That pass goes awry, and it's picked up by Mumford. Mumford in front. Barton steps away from the check. He scores! James Barton makes it a 4-3 game.
And as he leaned to the right side, and Monahan, he had seen him go hard right to left right before that, he was anticipating it again, and once he opened himself up, he went down 5-hole. Real thinking man's goal on that one.
The key to that play, Jimmy Mumford picking up the loose ball and making the pass.
Always got to give credit to the playmaker as well. It's easy to look at the goal, see how pretty it was, and stop the credit there, but you're right, Doug.
How huge is that goal, Joe? Making it 4-3, but also with only 25 seconds left in the period.
I think it's tremendous because of the fact that and we have a little bit of a controversy here. There was a timeout called for by the Gaels, and the Spartan bench was up in arms about it. As they discuss that, I'll answer your question. I think it's a tremendous lift because it goes into the break with a 1-goal difference possibly, and that goal was not scored on the power play. That's scored a 4-on-4, so they'll still have a little power play after the minor expires.
So the end result is the Gaels will not be given a timeout at this point. They're going to go to a draw, and if the Gaels gain possession, then they can call their timeout.
Not sure exactly what it was there that caused the need for the redraw. I didn't follow it. Spartan was right on top of something, and the referees somehow seemed to agree.
So Printup moves in with Morrison to take the draw. Ball rolls loose, and Gaels pick it up. That is Barr, and immediately turns to the referee and calls for the timeout with 19 seconds left on the clock.
Looked like a carbon copy of the play that was not allowed. So the Gaels get their timeout. They're able to set up here with 19 seconds left. They're still 4-on-4. We'll have to see if they consider pulling their goaltender or not. I would tend to think they would wait on that. In a 1-goal game, it's not necessary at the end of a second period to pull your goaltender. So we'll have to see if they may just want to do it like with 5 seconds left if they are holding for the last shot where they can't get hurt by it.
So with 19 seconds left, a 4-3 lead for Spartan Warriors over the Green Gaels. The play will come deep inside of Spartan territory. They'll set up in a traditional box style. Ian Lawrence actually going to move now and follow his man. Lord takes him out into the corner. Colley plays it across for Hinkson. Hinkson back for Colley. Looking for someone in front. And again, Colley rings it off the post. Nice pass, fired just wide from Zach Greer. Boy, Josh Colley has 4 posts to his credit in 2 periods of play.
And you had to know with his big shot, that was the weapon they were trying to set up. Whenever you have only seconds left in a period, you know you're going to not really work something inside. You're going to be looking for that outside shot. Colley's a candidate for that.
Some final thoughts on this second period. Was it what you expected after the first?
It was more of the same. It was still the same rough tempo of play, and I think Spartan still has to feel pretty good about the fact that even though the Gaels have dictated the tempo of the game, they're up by a goal. That's telling them they can win either way.
23-16, the shots on goal in the second period as the Gaels take the advantage overall, 37-33. We're going to come back with our second intermission with Andrew McKay. And don't forget, third period of the gold medal game in Founders Cup 2002 just ahead.
Premiering in September on the Movie Network. Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker are together again in Rush Hour 2. Jurassic Park 3 starring Sam Neill and William H. Macy. Zoolander, written and directed by comedian Ben Stiller. Steven Spielberg's AI.
I'm a boy.
Scary Movie 2, directed by Keenan Ivory Wayans. hardball, and over 100 more. The biggest stars. The biggest movies every weekend, guaranteed. Cool.
4-3 after 2 periods here in Halton Hills. We're joined now by Joe Murray, the coach of the Spartan Warriors. Joe, that period had a real nice start to it. At the end there, a little bit of a defensive letdown.
Yeah, sometimes we tend to just lose our focus on defense. We start chasing. We can't do that. This team's too good for that. They'll take every advantage of pick and roll. It's just, we got back into our game now. We seem to be fine. We're just going to hold it. Best two teams are here right now, so we can't make any mistakes.
And stark contrast really to yesterday's matchup that you had with Edmonton, 25 goals. So far we have 7, so while your offense isn't quite getting off, your defense actually seems to be controlling the Gaels a little better.
Well, they're keying in on my one biggest gun. They're playing them out, so we've kind of made a transition. Now we know what we're doing against that. It's going to be a lower scoring game. We do have good defense, and so do they, so we'll beat them by 1. That's, bottom line.
And what's the mood of the kids coming into the game and now still on the bench after 2 periods, 20 minutes left in their season, basically?
Well, you know what? They've worked so hard. It's been a long season, longer season than they've had in a lot of years. So they're so excited. Their energy level's high, and they're not making mistakes. For young kids, they're doing a lot of things right. So.
A well-played game so far after 2 periods. Hopefully it continues through the 3rd period, possibly overtime. We'll have to see. Thanks a lot, Joe.
Thank you.
And we're joined now by Wayne Cawley, coach of the Columbus Land Sharks, but today just basically dad. And a little bit right there, 15 seconds left. Josh rings one off the post. How do you feel about how he's playing so far?
Oh, he's not playing too bad. He's getting his opportunities to score, but young Monahan from Spartan there, he's shutting him down, and a very exciting game. I'm sure it'll go right down to the final seconds during this game.
The Gaels have played, in my opinion, a lot better this week than they were playing a couple weeks ago when they played against Spartan, and also moving through the LA playoffs. What do you think's really going on in that room with these kids that all of a sudden they've picked up their game so much?
I'm here as a dad today, and what I understand, what I hear in the car and whatnot, is they had a lot of injuries, and they rested some key players throughout that series so they could be ready for this Founders Cup, and I think that took Spartan by surprise. And as you can see, the score is close, and great for Lacrosse. Very good.
Now, in your role as a coach in Columbus, we've seen quite a few people. Bob McMahon's been around the arena this week, Lindsay Sanderson as well. Considering the success from Casey Bierens last year, stepping in, of course, to your lineup, how much more of prevalence do you think Junior B is going to get when it comes to the eyes of NLL people this season and upcoming years?
Well, as a coach in the NLL, you're always looking at different arenas, trying to turn over a stone for a gem. And you got teams like Edmonton and Winnipeg and stuff like that, but they don't have the exposure like we do in BC and Ontario. So if you catch somebody like that, there's a couple of boys that played very well in that semi-final game there, and they caught our eye, and we'll put them on our list.
Yeah, well, we'll let you stop thinking like a coach for 20 minutes, go back to being a dad. Good luck to you as you watch your son play, and hopefully he comes out of this with a national title.
Thank you very much, Andrew.
And we'll be back with 3rd period action right after this.
Happy birthday, baby.
Oh, my God. Are you crying? My whole life is a lie.
What'd you do that for? Screwing around? You better wipe that smile off your face.
Tony, do you know how serious this is?
You need toughening up.
How can you say that? I got expelled.
You got nothing to say till I tell you.
I'm a grown woman. I can do what I want.
All right. You stay with your own people.
You are such a hypocrite.
You gonna cry now?
I hate my life.
Well, he's gonna go learn to be a man.
I will not send him to that place.
For what? To come home to this?
What is with you, Tony? Listen to Mr. Mob Boss.
What did you call me?
Look at everybody we know.
Whatever you're thinking, you just stop thinking it right now.
Why don't we just get it all out there?
Hey, we should keep this in the family.
Just recapping the goal scorers, we had James Barton, Josh Colley, and Doug Trudeau for the Green Gaels, and Reg Van Velzen, Keegan Sheriff, and Joel Printup with 2 for Spartan.
Yeah, Printup's had a whale of a game thus far. He has been the straw that stirs this drink as far as Spartan goes.
Dragging penalties, taking draws, and scoring goals all.
That's what you call a full effort. Colley plays it over to Hinkson. Hinkson trying to step out in front, gets the shot away. Monahan makes the save. You know, one of the guys that has impressed me a lot here from this Gaels team is Zach Greer, who wears number 17.
And he's re-justifying that all-star selection that he got earlier when he stood on the line with the other great players.
Burkholder, and guess who's on him? That's Marvin Barr. Burkholder keeping it away, stays to the outside, takes the hit from Chris Stewart, who came out of the box. So a power play for the next 40 seconds for the Gaels as Barr runs Burkholder into the floor. Along the boards, ball pops loose. Jackson can't gather it up, and Burkholder is there to take it away.
A lot of scrums along the boards on these loose balls. Referees letting the boys play through it.
Barr on Burkholder, still has it. Takes the double team as Chris Stewart comes up to join him. Ball comes loose, and Stewart will take it away.
Just 5 left on the penalty.
Good job from Andrew Burkholder, ragging off some precious seconds of that power play.
Really showing some power, maintaining inside that timeline.
Stepping to the front, there's the shot, low and hard off the stick of Tyler Harris. That bounces wide, comes back to Harris at mid-floor. Harris dishes off. Fed out in front, trying to get the shot away, and they finally do. Monahan cuts that one off from Doug Trudeau.
Tyler Harris moments ago, shooting on the run, a real difficult skill, trying to hit the mark when you're on the move across your strong side, trying to go back against the green.
Keegan Sheriff now at the circle. Sheriff's got a man with them. There comes the shot from Hawksby. It's right on. Passfield will make the save and play it out for James Barton.
Passfield's done a good job of not giving up too many rebounds tonight.
And what a job Barton has done with a nice big goal early on. Bit of traffic through the middle, looking to step out in front. Sargent dishes off. Hingston looking for the man. Can't feed the pass, gets it across, and Greer is stonewalled by Monahan. Greer behind the net as the shot clock goes. He thought they should have had a reset clock.
And according to your call, you thought it was a save by the goaltender, but the referees deemed that it went wide, so shot clock violation. But Greer, again, dangerous, getting in the middle, flashing through, having no fear.
Burkholder in front gets the shot away. Loose ball, diving in to scoop it up, and the Gaels cannot control it. Hawksby, quick bounce pass, gets it back to Printup. Ever dangerous Joel Printup looking for Hawksby. Gets him it. Hawksby shot right on. No problem for Passfield. Big rebound, but Mike Carroll's there to take it away, and he's on the fly. Carroll with a man with him. Carroll all alone. He scores! Mike Carroll, free floor all the way down, ties the game at 4.
And a very subtle move there made that goal. He reached out with his stick. He didn't really fake. He just pushed it to the far side. The goaltender got caught leaning as soon as he saw motion going to the far side and left the short side open, and he just buried it. He didn't have much room to shoot at.
That's also one of those plays that a lot of credit has to go to Nate Andres for staying on the wing. Even though he knew he wasn't going to be getting the ball, he stayed there and made the goalie consider the fact that he's on the wide side.
And also forced them to realize that that was an option on the break. The runners couldn't just key on the shooter.
Mike Carroll with a huge goal for the Gaels, tying this game at 4. 16 minutes and 25 seconds remains here in the third period. And just like you said, Joe, is this the last period we're going to see? I'm not so sure.
We talked about that. We've seen a couple of overtime periods the last couple days, and we're tied at 4-4 in the third. Hey, could be.
Sargent rolls off the check out in front. Monahan makes the save, and it's going to be Spartan ball.
And Andrew Burkholder's friend is right next to him again. You can see the expression on his face from here. Burkholder's getting tired of it.
Burkholder staying tough. Play through the middle. Comes back. Murray's got it. Murray plays it back now to the top. This is Keegan Sheriff. Sheriff rolls off the pick. Still has it to the outside. Sheriff almost got his head taken off. And stick starting to come up a little bit.
Thies really gave him a rough ride there.
Jackson's got Colley going down low on the left side. Jackson leaves it for Tyler Harris. Harris over to Colley. Colley Looking for an open man, plays it off to the far side. Greer gets around the check, and they blow this one down. We're going to get coincidental minors.
And I was just saying a minute ago, I'm glad to see they're coincidental so it doesn't kill my point. I was going to say a minute ago, I think to see a power play, we're going to have to see a good one. They're not going to give any cheesy ones out here.
Ian Lord and Josh Colley going off, so two of the more well-respected, and I mean highly counted on players in each team.
That's true, so it's kind of a wash there. The Gaels had possession of the ball, so they'll maintain that on the coincidental minors. Looks like there are some fans near the penalty box having something to say to some of the players. So the PA announcer makes it known that you could be removed for harassing the players.
And we do have an absolute packed house here. They're sitting 3 and 4 deep.
And now everybody's standing up to see exactly what's going on down at the penalty box, but it's probably long since ended now, so looking for the aftermath. Look to the far side behind the goal. There's not a lot of seating on that in that area, and none anywhere near us. People standing all along the bar behind us.
You take a look at the crowd as they ring the glass all the way around here in the Gordon Alcott Arena. And I'll tell you something, folks. If you think lacrosse is well supported in the Georgetown area, hey, take a look around. There's a lot of just lacrosse fans. This isn't just parents and family. We got a penalty again, and it's going against the Gaels. Laid down low. Cody Printup. Printup with the ball. Feeds it out in front. Oh, a beautiful pass, but Burkholder couldn't handle it. Laid back again. There's the shot. It goes right on, and we're going to get a penalty against the Gaels.
And Spartan able to realize that they pull their goaltender. They realize there's a penalty. They pull their goaltender, set up an old-fashioned 5-on-4, so they had almost like some extended power play time there, and it looks like the call is going to be too many men against the Gaels.
And serving the penalty for the Gaels is Scott Thies as he heads over to the box. Printup wins the draw. It comes back to Greg Hunter. Hunter hangs onto it, gets it back for Printup, and he'll take his time on the far side. Colin Baker joins him now, forcing the play as Printup gets it back for Burkholder. So a 40-second power play
of a 4-on-3, and then when the two other combatants come out, it'll be 5-on-4 for the rest of the way.
Baker down low. Long pass. Gets it onto the stick of Greer. Greer twisting and turning inside of Spartan territory. Greer plays it off for Baker. Baker goes back down low. Gaels moving the ball nicely. Greer's got it again. Burkholder watching him. Plays it back. That one's picked off. What a job by Luke Panchoff stepping out in front of the pass.
And a momentary stumble gave Colin Baker a chance to race back in and stop the play.
There's the shot, right on, loose ball in the crease as Keegan Sheriff threw it off his back foot.
And Passfield not buying the other runner as an option. He keyed on the shooter all the way in there, and we've got an interference call coming up against Spartan.
Keegan Sheriff heading off to the bench, got tied up with the Gaels player, and he'll be going to the box for his efforts. An interference call, and that will even things up.
And the one thing I could see from this angle, his body language, when the contact was made, you could see him trying to pull away from it. But from in front of that, where the referee's positioned, it just looks like a straight run over. So not really much argument there. You put yourself in a position where the referee can't really let that go.
Yeah, there's nothing he could have done. You know, he like you said, he put himself in that position rather than just being caught in that position. So the draw will be down low inside of Spartan territory.
I'm so disappointed. I just lost a 50-50 draw.
I don't think I've ever won a 50-50 draw.
I think they should start treating referees better.
And I'll bet you when you look around this place, when you see the crowd that's here, this would be a good 50-50 draw to win.
It sure would.
Pass, Cawley looking for some open space, fires a shot. Monahan steps across, makes the save. Rebound shot over top of the net by Doug Trudeau.
Wasn't able to get a great shot up, but I tell you what, that was a gutsy effort, getting in there in the middle of all that traffic and heat and picking up that loose ball and still getting a shot away.
You know, we haven't talked about him that much, but Ryan Monahan has played a stellar game thus far for Spartan.
I guess he's been the guy who's been easy not to notice because he just keeps doing the same thing well over and over again.
Joe Murray down low, watching on the double team. Murray takes it to the boards. Andy Glenn in there with Scott Thies. Murray goes down, and it's going to be Gaels' ball.
Trying to think back now, calling Monahan's name a few times. And a lot of his movement from left to right is what I remember thinking about when we did call his name, was that side-to-side movement to take away shots. Fans really, really calling out there. They wanted to delay a game penalty there. Not sure, I didn't see exactly how the ball started rolling.
Cawley plays it to the outside. Fed out in front. There's the shot from Greer, goes just wide. Bounces loose in the corner. Van Velzen looking to come up with it. Trying to keep his balance, and he does. What a job by Reg Van Velzen.
Spartan's bench calling for a chop there, but I think that's been something that's been let go both ways all game long.
Ian Lord takes the hit. Ball pops out of his stick. Still hangs onto it. Lord fighting through a double team. Loses control of the ball, but gets it right back. Lord loses it again. Boy, Ian Lord having a tough time corralling the ball. Shane Sargent will take it up. They're pushing and shoving it mid-floor between Barr and Van Velzen. 11 minutes, 30 seconds left here in the third period. Just 17 left in the Spartan penalty. Sargent through the middle, loses it. Turns out, they score! Doug Trudeau!
Tremendous diving effort off the loose ball there, just coming in front, and he dove across the edge of the crease. It didn't look to me like he dove inside of it, but some of the Spartan players are protesting. It looked like he went right along the outside edge of the crease as he dove across and got the long side high goal. A tremendous effort there by Trudeau. He's really, first time he's had a chance to get something for his efforts, but he's really been doing a lot of the little things, showing for the ball, playing like an experienced player that he is.
And Ian Lord is down there talking and saying, listen, look at the wet in the crease, and they want to know how it could get wet. Well, that's from him diving through the crease, so it's got to be no goal. Well, that's not how the referees are seeing it.
And that's not necessarily the case either. If you have some water in the crease, a player can hit before the line and slide right on. Doug slid there for about 3 feet, it looked like. So, you know, just a mark, not like in tennis where you can call the umpire out of the chair and ask for an overrule.
So a 5-4 Gaels lead deep into this third period of play. 11 minutes and 22 seconds left in the third.
I alluded to it earlier. We said that the experience of having won a Founders Cup already may be something that allows him to do everything he could, where some other players may have a little nerves and not play up to their total potential. Trudeau's seemed calm and poised the entire time, and you know, it seems fitting to see him get a go-ahead goal, but we still got a ways to go.
He's only 5'10", 180 pounds, but he plays like he's 6'3", 225.
I was talking with Doug in the off-season in the wintertime, and he was talking about coming back from an injury to his leg, and it looks like he's back all the way right now.
So the Gaels moving the ball up the floor very quickly now. Penalty box is finally cleared. Cawley has it at the circle, looking for a bit of open space. Cawley lays it down low. There's the shot. They score! Nate Andres makes it a 6-4 game.
And it just like that, lightning striking. We come in dead even at the start of the period, and it's a 2-goal lead all of a sudden for the Gaels.
And you take a look at the Gaels bench, and then take a look at the Warrior bench. Heads are down. They seem to be dragging it just a little bit now.
Absolute opposite body language as the Gaels banging their sticks along the wall, the building jumping up and down, acting active in trying to get things done, pointing at what they need to do on the floor. Spartan just looking in absolute shock right now.
Doug Trudeau puts his team up by 1. Nate Andres puts his team up by a pair. 10 minutes, 53 seconds left. We got coincidental minors after the fact.
And one thing I actually realized, I had said Doug Trudeau hadn't had anything to show for his efforts before, but that actually was his second goal. I have to double check my accounting here.
Those 1+1s are starting to get to you.
Yeah, I think 1+1 is not 1.
That's new math. Barr forcing the issue. Hawksby going right after it. Ball comes loose, and who's right on top of it? Marvin Barr.
Nice steal there. He's really been a presence. Been a thorn in Burkholder's side, and he's been able to get around and make some plays on some of the other players as well.
Preston leaves it for Colley. Colley goes cross side. That is Hinkson with the ball. Hinkson trying to feed it through the middle, fakes the shot, stays and has it again. Hinkson. On top of him is Rouston. Hinkson plays it out in front, over the shoulder from Doug Trudeau.
He got in the crease that time, and the Spartan definitely got the call, but that's a tremendous effort. He got the pass with his back to the goal, spun toward the goaltender who was going short side. He knew he had some opportunity long side, reached behind the back to try and find it.
Played back, Spartan controlling it. This is number 20, Keegan Sheriff, looking for an opening. Nobody home as Sheriff. It looks for his man, backpedaling away from the play is John Burkholder. He goes low, rolls one to the front of the net, and a kick save coming from Rick Passfield.
Cheeky little play there.
It sure was. Passfield really shocked that the ball made it all the way to him. Sheriff comes back. Burkholder steps around his man. Stick knocked out of his hand. Ball's on the floor and scooped up by Sheriff. There's a battle by Burkholder in front. Gets to him. He then gets sandwiched and the ball comes loose. Long outlet pass. That's knocked away and comes right into the stick of John Sullivan.
A real battle in front, like you said. Both players looking up at the referee and pleading for something, and the referee wanted to let them play through. They finally separated.
Murray's got the ball, gets it back for Van Velzen. Van Velzen to Atwood, bounces off of Murray, goes into the corner. Carroll in to chase him down. James Barton has followed Andrew Burkholder around the floor and just keeps following him around and hitting him. He's hoping that Burkholder will just take a bad penalty.
And Andy Glenn just did take a bad penalty.
Andy Glenn absolutely rocked this man after the whistle in the corner. He's
and I
gone
think this
to the
is going to
box.
be a bad one because he actually, once the helmet was off, he got behind him, and he didn't just hit him, he rammed his head against the glass. Spartan's going to have an opportunity to get back within one, and the Spartan captain coming over, I think what he's going to be asking for is 5 there. And he seems to go away pretty happy, and it is 5.
A 5-minute penalty going against the Gaels. When you're up by a pair, a bad penalty from Andy Glenn. He really, the helmet was off, and as you said, he just rattled his head against the glass.
And we talked about it earlier when there was that 5 that gave a team an opportunity to get back into it. This is it right here. It's a segue. 2-goal releasable penalty can put the game back even again. That was a real bad play. Started all there, and then Burkholder was tired of receiving, decided to dish out a little bit, knew the referees were letting a little bit go, so he came up on his man.
Well, it looks like Burkholder's going to the box as well. He picks up 2. Joe Murray has a cut forehead from that fray.
Burkholder was the one who did initially come up high with his hands on that scrum. But I'm wondering if there might be another Gale going as well. If not, we'll just have the 5 and 2. Looks like that's it. Straight signal for the high stick on Burkholder, and then the board.
You know, considering you could have been on the power play, how much more of a bad penalty is that for Andy Glenn?
Well, I have to wonder, to be honest with you, whether that was really going to be the call. They didn't know if they were going to be on the penalty. I mean, if the referees had decided to call that, they were still trying to pull the players apart. They hadn't gotten their hands up to signal it. So Andy Glenn couldn't have known that they were going to be getting a power play there. Okay. That's a difficult thing in a melee. When a referee's trying to pull people apart and blow his whistle, he's not able to get his hand up, make a clear signal. Only so many things you can do at once.
Loose ball off the draw. The Gaels will control as Passfield gets it out. Colin Baker forced immediately by Van Velzen. Baker turns on the Jets at mid-floor, spins away from the check. Van Velzen can't catch up to his man, and Baker backpedals to in front of the net of the bench. He'll dish off, and this is Shane Sargent.
One thing about the fact that that's a major, even though it's only 3 minutes, they still will have 2-goal releasable.
Colley heading off to the bench, and Van Velzen will move right in. Van Velzen diving with the shot. Big save from Passfield. And what a job from Marvin Barr to get back.
Tremendous job. He sprang from the bench, got position on the man, worked him hard so he couldn't get inside of him and get an easy shot.
Colley's got it again. He'll be watched by John Sullivan. Colley plays it to the wide side. Greer trying to cut back out in front. Greer turns, lets the shot go. That one bounces over top of the net.
A little bit of an ill-advised shot there, but Greer has been fearless, going right into traffic, taking the hits when he's in the offensive zone and still getting shots.
Yeah, that was an ill-advised shot. He had plenty of time left on the clock. Shot clock down to 17. Fed through, Print up, gets it to Cody, and Cody's shot, it goes wide, bouncing away. Mike Carroll will bring it out.
Print up combination there.
Carroll losing his chin strap, heads off to the bench, leaves the ball for Doug Trudeau. Trudeau, Burkholder on the check. Trudeau give and go with Colley, steps in front. Monahan makes the save.
Trudeau's been a terrific influence there, getting inside constantly.
He has been a force in this third period. Keegan Sheriff, watched closely by Ryan Preston. Sheriff stays to the outside. Chris Stewart follows him. Burkholder back on the floor from the penalty box. Ball goes to Atwood down low in the corner. Atwood, good job corralling it off the glass, but he can't get it back to Sheriff. Right there is Burkholder. Shot! Big save from Passfield. Jumping in and picking up the loose ball and tied up from behind, no penalty. That was number 18, Justin Hawksby. Burkholder shot right on. Nice save from Passfield.
We're on that 3-minute power play now.
Plays it off. Print up shot. A low one right on. Passfield, no trouble with that. And Barr will bring it up the floor. Sidestepping Burkholder. Barr still has the ball. Preston turning, plays the pass. Wheeling back the other way as Andre's in on goal. Jumps out of his stick.
Whistle for a crease violation there, so we're going to chance. 2 minutes now remaining on the penalty. Still 2-goal releasable, though. That's a key point.
Sheriff over for Burkholder. Back for Sheriff. Looking for Print up. Sheriff takes his time. Backs away, gives to Burkholder. Burkholder back for Sheriff. Lets the shot go. He scores!
Sheriff with a big, sizzling bounce shot. Looked like it hit right at Passfield's feet, and that's the third time we've said that today.
And you see Joel Printup sprint back into his own zone and go right to Ryan Monahan saying, thanks for keeping us in this one.
And now they got 1:30 left on a penalty. Then now it goes down to 1-goal releasable, just like any other foul. They get a chance to even it up. That's Sheriff's second goal of the game.
And they look at it like they're just 22 seconds into a regular power play.
Exactly.
5 minutes and 10 seconds left on the game clock. And once again, Spartan controls the ball off the draw. Gaels lead in the draws 11-8. There's a hard shot coming from Burkholder.
And that was a funky one. A big shot was ticketed top corner, and the butt end of Passfield's stick looked like would have made contact with the ball.
Mike Carroll moves it up to Colley. Josh Colley twisting and turning. Burkholder strips him of the ball. And Ian Lord will bring it up the floor. What a job by 37 Andrew Burkholder.
Finding a way to make a contribution.
Burkholder's been frustrated most of this game with Marvin Barr. But in the last two series of plays, he's the one setting the tone. Sheriff. Oh, nice flip pass. Back to Burkholder. Feeds it to the side. Three-way passing, but down low, Atwood was a little too far. Nice job by Printup. Feeds it back. Atwood shot. Passfield makes the save. Great ball movement by Spartan. To the wide side. Keegan Sheriff. Fresh shot clock. Printup down low. There's a quick shot from John Burkholder going just wide, and the ball bounces over the glass. Gaels get the ball.
And as you said, great ball movements from Spartan, but it actually looked like Passfield had an answer each time, and it looked like he even had that time covered.
Loose ball. Burkholder scoops it up. In on goal. Fakes it and does the veterans play. Goes behind the net and sets up for a fresh attack.
Penalty coming to an end here.
Burkholder still has it. Takes the hit, follows up with the ball. Gives it away. The ball will bounce back to mid-floor. 18 is Justin Hawksby. Hawksby plays it up for John Burkholder. He goes low. Rebound. All alone in the crease, and he hit the crossbar. Again, over the shoulder. They score. Tying the game at 6. Justin Hawksby.
What more can you say about that frenzy around Rick Passfield? He really can't be expected to keep shot after shot after shot out. The Green Gaels got to come in there and do something to protect him there. One play diving across the top of the crease, another backhander, just tremendous flurry there.
And this wild affair with 3:17 left is all tied at 6.
And what more could you ask in a national championship game, just over 3 minutes, and a tie game?
And I hate to be the one to say it, especially with my partner as a referee, but it's going to have to be an absolute murder for a penalty.
It's going to have to be a good one. We always say there can be a penalty. It's got to be a good one. No cheese.
Keegan Sheriff out in front, bans on the shot, bounces in the corner. Printup goes after it with Stewart. Joel Printup will come away with it. Cody is limping on his right foot. Took a shot just on the bottom part of the leg. Andrew Burkholder gets around Barr, and the shot is away. Good save from Passfield. Nice job from Rick Passfield, cutting down the angle on Andrew Burkholder.
And Barr, just enough harassment to make it a little more difficult shot.
Burkholder goes to Printup on the far side. Atwell plays it through the middle. Partially blocked, comes right across to this side. John Burkholder has it. He tries to get around Chris Stewart. Burkholder looking for some room. Going heavily to the floor is number 12, Mike Carroll, looking for a penalty, but that won't be called with just 2:02 left on the clock.
But he does gain possession for his team. You'll see the technical violations, which will just not the 2 minutes unless they're real good ones.
Great battle in front of the net with Jeff Farrar and James Barton. Played back to Hinkson. Hinkson backpedals, leaves it off. Here comes the shot from Colley. Big save from Monahan. Hinkson runs through the crease and gets his hands up as Ian Hawksby took the worst of that one.
And Monahan again moving strong from his right to his left. Always strong going stick side and taking away shots there. Very quick across pipe to pipe.
Justin Hawksby. He's got the game-tying goal. Hawksby wearing the C for Spartan. Dumps it back to Burkholder. Printup's got it. Goes down low. Greenhalgh tries to let the shot go. Good defensive effort from Chris Stewart.
Could we see some bonus lacrosse tonight?
With 1:01 remaining in this game, I believe it may be likely. But then again, last game, it took to the final second before we saw a man jump out in front. They score! Doug Trudeau puts it a 7-6
And just under a minute left, Doug Trudeau comes up with a hat trick. 7-6 lead. Tremendous play, too. Quickness, explosive to the hole. And he was able to lean his body across right side and stick it short side. He really has followed up with his effort from last year and really brought experience to this team.
Very similar to his second goal of the game. Just 50 seconds left on the clock. Doug Trudeau has put the Green Gaels back on top. 7-6.
Gaels find themselves 50 seconds from a national championship, but we saw this afternoon, goals scored with 1 second left to force overtime. Could we see a repeat?
What's the old saying? Founders Cup action will sell you the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge? No kidding. 50 seconds left, and we're seeing some of the best that Lacrosse has to offer.
And with the experience of this afternoon behind her, I don't think the fat lady's singing.
Absolutely not. We've talked about it a couple of times. The bronze medal matchup saw the Halton Hills Bulldogs with 1 second left on the game clock tie the game before losing in overtime 9-7 to our bronze medalist, the Edmonton Miners.
We saw the second semifinal last night between the Gaels and Halton Hills go into overtime, and then the bronze medal game this afternoon. So precedent, we have a roll going on. They can't break it up, can they?
You never know. You never know. Boy, the crowd right into this one as well. So face-off sit at 6-3, favoring the Green Gaels.
Gaels win the draw, and they call timeout. 44 seconds to go.
And how big is that, winning the draw? Boy, the Gaels, every time they've needed a win in the draw, they've gotten the win.
And they're going to have almost a full shot clock. They got 44 seconds on the clock, so they can salt it all the way down to about 20 seconds if they play the four corners offense right.
I got to ask you, we've got time. You got to pick an MVP from each team, but you can only pick one from each team.
Well, right now, without the game
the way
being
it
complete,
sits now,
you got to go with Trudeau. He's got the hat trick. He had the winning goal. You can't deny him.
But I know you also like the way Marvin Barrs played this game.
I do.
And what about from Spartan?
Yeah, I think you got to go, in my mind, with either Monahan or Joel Printup.
I think Joel Printup has been a force in this whole game. But we've been wrong before, eh, partner?
Yes, we have. And you notice how I wouldn't give you just one?
I know. I know. $17 seconds left. In front, they shoot it wide. So the shot clock goes with 15 left on the clock.
And Spartan's going to take their timeout to set up a play. Monahan comes off pretty disgusted, tossing down his stick and gloves. We'll have to see if they can diagram something. They got a 6-on-5 opportunity. Could it be deja vu all over again?
Hey, Yogi Berra.
Hey, I am a Yankee.
Yes, you are.
Although not that kind.
No, you're representing the city of brotherly love.
A Philadelphia Yankee in the Canadians' Court of Ontario.
Well, you are an honorary Canadian. We'll call the border. You're staying.
They told me that when I was became part of the Referees Association.
So we'll see what the final 15 seconds has to hold. A 7-6 lead for the Green Gaels. Burkholder has the ball. Printup moves down to the low side, fires the shot, comes right back to Burkholder. 10 seconds, there's the next shot. The clock expires, and your 2002 Founders Cup champions are the Green Gaels. Final shots on goal. Spartan 52, Gaels 48. What an absolute fabulous matchup. Everything we thought it would be and more.
Definitely an exciting matchup, and it proved that the series earlier between the Green Gaels and Spartan was not indicative. This was a very close game.
Well, the Gaels, we thought, would have to play truly outstanding defensively to win this game. They did. Spartan would have to come out and show their offensive prowess. They did. It turns out the Gaels are the champions of the 2002 Founders Cup.
Jonas Dirks out there hugging Nick Trudeau. Rick Passfield getting congratulations. Certainly considered the grittier of the two teams.
Absolutely.
Blue-collar team all the way.
And came up big when big needed to be part of their game. Doug Trudeau, what a game he had.
Tremendous, drawing on that experience we talked about with Wallaceburg last year, and you don't realize until it happens. You think about it at the beginning of the game, hey, this guy's been here before. He may be the one who steps up, and other guys who haven't been here are feeling a little bit of a choke going on, where he comes in and says, you know what, been here, done this. Let's get it done.
Knowing what it takes to finish off with class and a huge effort.
And especially good around the net, really good down in the crease, tremendous hands, and an easy pick as a player of the game.
He is a pick of the player of the game. Doug Trudeau comes through with the hat trick and a 7-6 victory.
I've been talking to Mike Hancock a little earlier about keys to his team's path into the finals and if they wanted to get there. And he kept alluding to the fact that they have a goaltender from Wallaceburg last year. Well, the Gaels have a guy from Wallaceburg of their own.
And nobody really moving here in the crowd, waiting to see the Founders Cup presented.
You can't watch a national championship to the end and not see the presentation of the trophy, Doug. Come on.
Kudos must be given as well to the Spartan Warriors, for they had a tremendous season and came up just a goal shy.
It's got to be a little bit of a painful experience, but they take away the silver medal, which can't be sneezed at. All year at home, they were unbeaten at home, as were their Junior A counterparts. So the city of St. Catharines seeing no home losses this year.
Come on, boys.
We talk about...
We're here with Brad MacArthur. We talked to you after the first period. You felt a little confident. You thought Marvin Barr doing a nice job on Burkholder. Your whole defense does a tremendous job through the third period, and you come back from 2 down to take this victory.
You know what? Every series we played this year in the playoffs, every time we went on the floor for a deciding game, our team has come back from all odds. We came back from 2-0 against Onondaga to win that series. We went in the dressing room between the second and the third, and I said, guys, are we in a good spot or what? I said, we're only down by 1 going into the third. Does that feel familiar? And then Doug Trudeau stood up and said, we're winning this game, boys. We're winning. And I'll tell you what, there's nothing sweeter than what just happened. That's a great victory for our team. Great victory.
You told me on Thursday, if you saw another silver medal this weekend, you'd freak out. Yes. How does it feel? You're about to pick up the gold.
And you know what? We're about to pick up a gold trophy, the gold medals. And these kids worked so hard this year that it's not even funny. We're in Darlington. We were started in February. And these kids just kept coming and coming for more. We had a few guys leave us. They couldn't handle it. And we had some guys join us, and they handled it. And we're a team. We're a great team. One we entered in the record books. We came back from all odds, and nobody respected us. I think we're going to get some respect now.
Absolutely. Coach of the 2002 Ontario Champions. Congratulations, Brad.
Thank you very
well
much.
done. Back up to you guys.
And a very happy coaching staff, and I'll tell you something, they deserve a lot of the credit for putting together a club like this, but keeping them focused on the end result.
And there was a little bit of their experience, a couple of the coaches as pro players, a little bit of their experience coming through in this game, and the strategy of starting to run people out both doors. That really did make a difference.
Well, absolutely. When you've got a guy like Marvin Barr that that can fly out of the door with Colley heading off to the bench on a breakaway, and Barr catches the offensive player and doesn't allow him to get a shot away. That's the true working of the door that you need to win a Founders Cup.
And it frustrated Spartan all game long. And a couple times it wasn't even Barr that came off, but just the fact that Burkholder's up, he's coming across center, he's at full flight, and boom, somebody just gained 10 feet on him coming off the bench from the Green Gaels. In the sets where they were able to get the matchups they wanted, Marvin Barr just ate Burkholder alive today.
You know, I'll tell you something. Andrew Burkholder wears 37. He was counted on for a lot of the offensive attack for this Spartan club. And Marvin Barr was one of the keys, but it was truly a concerted effort inside their own zone by the Gaels.
There definitely was. He was more like the point of the attack. The team defense really did well. And we talked about the fact that strategy coming out the back door, and there were more players than that. But Barr was certainly the one you really, your eye popped when he was leading the charge against Burkholder. So although you have to give credit to everybody, I think you give most of the credit to Barr.
Every goal in this game, with the exception of 2, one by each club, was scored on the power play. There was not a shorthanded goal in this game. Everything else was at even strength.
Interesting to see. You usually see one thrown in there in a game, and I guess that just attests to the tightness of the teams when they were in a dangerous situation.
Once again, the shots on goal at the end of this game, with Spartan leading by 4, 52-48, which just goes to show you that goaltending from each end of the floor played a huge part. We saw Monahan make some tremendous saves, and Passfield was fabulous.
Both goaltenders were outstanding. Monahan, you really think about, the more you think about that moving side to side, he really had some quality chances that he had to stop. And Passfield was a rock again. He was able to stand up the whole game.
Yeah, that's what you get from veteran goalie like Passfield. You know, I'll tell you something. When it counted, when he needed the save, he was there.
And one thing, he probably wasn't as flashy. Monahan going side to side, but Passfield, a lot of time, we talked about being centered up on the shot, and that can happen after the shot's released. When you see a lane, you step into the middle of it, it hits you in the chest, you look like you're not doing nothing, but it's the positioning that happens along the way.
Yeah, the cutting down of corners, the small stuff, the making it just one little body shift to cut off a whole area of the net. Rick Passfield does that as well as any goalie in junior lacrosse.
Great tradition. Players lining up, shaking hands after the awarding of the medals. Big embrace there from a couple players. Number 10 on the Green Gaels and the goaltender for Spartan. You have to wonder what history is there.
And you got to wonder as well, and you really do know that a lot of these guys have faced each other or played with each other. Just because they're on opposing teams now, they may have faced each other or played each other throughout their young term, from midget lacrosse to Pee Wee lacrosse, back maybe even down to Peanut. They usually face a lot of the same guys all the way up.
It's true. On the way up, you see people along the way. I remember refereeing a couple years back in Hamilton in the Super Series. We saw Rick Passfield as he was coming through the ranks and developing, and you could tell then he was going to be one to be reckoned with.
Both teams, we talked earlier, too, about the Halton Hill Bulldogs and what they have done. We should talk about their organization and the event that they've put on here. Once again, kudos to everybody involved, because it's been a first-class effort all the way.
You really couldn't have a better host. They've put on as good a tournament as anyone has ever put on. They've been cordial. They've been accommodating. They've really made it great for everybody.
You know, we talked about Hammer Mike Hancock and the efforts that he put forth in putting this team to the Founders Cup and making sure that this community is stepped behind it. But Mike will be the first one to tell you, he's had a lot of people that have come through in the supporting role and made this the effort that it is. A really great job by Halton Hills, and they should take a big bow for that.
Absolutely. Hammer at the point, and you know he's a classy guy. He's always going to make sure that the people who helped out get the credit that they're due.
Right now by Jason Crosby. Jason, I just talked to Brad. I talked to him on Thursday night as well. He said, if I see another silver medal this weekend, I'm going to put it through a window. How does this feel after losing out in the OLA Major Series last week to now having a Canadian Championship ring going onto your finger?
Well, you know, the last of Brampton, it was hard to take, but I knew these guys had it in them. They fucking had it in them. Oops, they had it in the rest, in the whole playoffs, the whole year. And I knew when it was like 4-3, we were going to win. We just are a third-period team. We gutted it out. That's what we did. 3 5-game series in the playoffs. and we won every game 5. So when it counted, we knew our kids were there. You know, we gave them the plan, and they just took it and ran with it.
Every night you've had a different hero. Tonight it's Doug Trudeau. Last night, Zach Greer, Josh Colley, a couple of games before, when James Hankson went out. James coming back, and I'm not sure how he's going to even get in the car tonight with his knee. How much can you say about the team effort they put together and everybody ready to step up to play?
Well, we never, ever focused on one guy. Everyone worked together. That was, you know, that's our motto, family. We're all a family, and we work together as a team. And if one guy's down, we have more guys to pick us up. And our whole structure was for the whole team. And whoever, you know, game winners here, guys stepping up, that's just natural, innate, you know, lacrosse players. Those guys are champions. That's what you do. You know, you step up and take the lead. And, you know, Doug Trudeau took it today. He was there last year, won it last year. He knew what it takes. You know, the young guy gets all-star. You know, he's in here working his butt off. And, you know, that's our group of guys. And we all work together as a family, and we do it together, and that's what happens.
You did it together, got a Canadian championship. Congratulations.
Canadian championship, you betcha.
Go enjoy it.
Thank you very much.
Go back to you guys.
So a big, big victory as the Green Gaels move up to pick up their gold medals. What a performance they had. And just a matter of time before the Founders Cup is presented.
See when the captain comes up to get his. See our colleague Andrew McKay mingling among the Green Gael faithful. Has to be hard to see Spartan sit there and watch the presentation of the gold medal.
And how about Zach Greer going to get his medal right now? He's a 15-year-old midget. Is this not a big time for him?
That's just unreal. The kid was absolutely fearless going into the middle.
We talked early on, you and I, off camera, about Zach Greer and the game that he's had and possibly warranting an MVP nomination in this game. He played that well in the first 2 periods.
He did, and last night he was the 2-goal scorer in the overtime. He got both Gaels goals that helped him advance. But he was really a force. He really created a lot of havoc in the offensive end. So you have to give him credit. It's surprising to me. Like, to hear that he's a midget call-up is just it's not really fathomable for me right now.
There's the man of the hour, Doug Trudeau. Boy, what a third period he had and what a whole game. And Marvin Barr.
And Brad MacArthur just got the Gatorade shower.
And well deserved.
And Greer picks up the bucket to take a sip out of what's left.
And there he goes, the soaking wet coach moving up to pick up his medal as rest of the coaching staff joins him. This Gaels organization put forth a tenacious team and a tenacious effort, and they came through with one heck of a Founders Cup. There's Ryan Denholm of Tillotson Sports moving out.
There it is, Marvin Barr. Nice selection there.
Picking up the warrior of the game from Warrior Lacrosse and Tillotson Sports, Marvin Barr. And we talked about him throughout this broadcast. We talked about how he shut down Andrew Burkholder.
And he was doing that for every other team star. He was the man who really was in the face of the main players of the opposition. It was his responsibility to really shadow and shut them down.
So Scott Tice will move out to accept the trophy on behalf of his teammates.
They say a picture's worth 1,000 words. How about that?
Look at the smile, ear to ear, as they go in for a big hug. And we'll get a chance to hoist the trophy. The trophy that brought them to Halton Hills. The Founders Cup. And the Green Gaels are the 2002 champions. Much the same way that it's always a team effort, and much the same way it's done with the Stanley Cup, it will be passed from player to player. They'll get a chance to touch, feel,
maybe take a drink out of.
the whole reason that they are here and the reason that they've taken up lacrosse, the Founders Cup. So the final score once again, 7-6. The Green Gaels take home the 2002 Founders Cup. And a happy crew, a happier crew I have not seen. For my two partners, Joe Fee, Andrew McKay, for Blair Campbell helping out. For the rest of the crew here on Cochico, thanks for joining us for the 2002 Founders Cup. We hope you've enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. The Green Gaels 7-6 win over the Spartan Warriors are your champions.